So in this video, we're gonna make the dumb AI a slightly bit smarter. We're gonna step it up a notch. So right now it's enemy underscore one underscore dumb. He's truly dumb because he simply stands there, does nothing. But in this video, we're gonna try and make him chase our player. So the way we do that is if you have followed any of previous Unreal courses, you might have come across a term called navigation mesh or navigation volume. So in order for this AI or for this character who is not controlled by the player to understand the landscape of the level, he needs to know certain details like where is the collision mesh and where he should not be able to walk, where he should be able to walk, where he needs to be able to climb, where he needs not to be able to climb, and all of that information needs to be fed to him. And that information is fed through a navigation volume. So we'll set that up here. So let's take a look first. I'll just type in nav mesh or navigation. So you have all of these. So you have nav mesh, bounce volume, link proxy, modifier volume, testing actor, and abstract nav data. So what we're going to use now is the navigation mesh bounce volume. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop this here first. I'm going to grab this pane volume first, and if I can grab the pane volume, that's the pane volume. Go over to edit pane volume and look at the box, and I will say hidden in game, and I don't need to make it visible. That's okay. I'll just compile and turn it off. Okay, so it's there, but it won't be shown in the games. I don't need it either. So, and also first I'll select this guy. Yeah, and I'll go over to the top view. If you are looking at the navigation volume for the first time, and this is a good look. So let's see. First, I'm going to be, let me first bring it to the center. I hope this is the center of the level. Think this is, so just let me bring it to the rough center of the level, and then I'll hit P. Okay, and I'll go back to my perspective view, and you can see that that is out there. Okay, that is out there in the center, and since it's green, it says that the player can actually walk inside the volume. Now of course I can bring it down a bit like that, and maybe even bring it down further down, but whatever it is, it's still gonna have a little elevation, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna say Control Z and Control Z. So 200, let's say if I just bring it up and drop it by hitting end, so that would be 230 on the Z and minus 380 on the X and 40 on the Y. So that's okay. So I'll just copy that, and I'll show you what happens when I bring this down here. If you're looking at the navigation volume for the first time, this is what it will look like. So now it's actually carved out a shape around the edge of, or the intersection of this box along with this volume. The intersection is not being shown. Instead, the thing that can be walked on, where there is no collision, that is being carved out. So the player now knows, or the AI character now knows, that he needs to be walking from here, and it's all a gray area, so he cannot walk here. So anything that's white, green in color, the navigation mesh, he will come down there and he'll start walking. Okay, so I'll put it back in the section that I came from. I'll go over to my top view, and I'll increase the bounds of this navigation volume. So the brush shape is given as 200 by 200 by 200. So I want to increase it by, let's say, 1000. Okay, and maybe even more. Let's say 5000. That's a little too high, I guess. 2000, 2500. We're getting there. 3000. Okay, and that's 3000. That's okay. And again, we'll do the same thing because this is a square level, not a rectangular level. So this will be 3000 by 3000 on the Y as well. So 3000. There you go. And if I go back to my perspective, and you can see that all of them have been mapped out, right? So again, if I also increase the Z by, let's say, 1000. Okay, and even this should be mapped out because this area was left out. So even that got mapped out now, and everything else looks perfect. So whatever is green out here, it shows that you can walk through it. So all the staircases, maybe a little more Let's say if I just bring it up a little bit, maybe it should cover. And let me say 1500. I don't know. Okay, I think that's okay. And maybe if I move this up a little bit, it is still covering pretty much everything. Oh yeah, it's because it's way under the ground. There you go. Okay, and let me see if it is like that. Okay, so maybe just a little bit down. Yep, I think that's okay. That's good enough. Okay, and also if you do not want the AI character to climb up the stair and you want to take a safe refuge, maybe what you'll have to do is instead of 1500, I think I'll just bring it down to 100. Okay, and that's up there. So I'll say I'll put it down here like that. And there you can see that it's not really maybe even further down. So even though staircases are not covered, maybe a little bit up. There you go. So he cannot, he cannot go beyond the staircases. I mean, just the one step. So maybe if I look again, that is 85. So let me make it 80. 80 doesn't work. 81, 80.5. Okay, no matter what I do, it's still gonna cover the first step. That's okay. So I can't help that, but at least it's got everything else pretty well mapped out, right? So I'm gonna save. I'm gonna get out of the modes panel and first save all. Okay, and then hop on to my enemy underscore dumb. Okay, now it's time for me to actually change the name of the enemy underscore dumb because he's not gonna be dumb anymore. So I'll just type in enemy. I don't know, enemy one. Enemy one, I think I'm going to be going with enemy one, and more enemies maybe will be an type of enemy. So enemy underscore two would be a different type. Anyways, so the first thing that we'll have to do anything before you give any AI capability to your enemy character is add a sensing component, because this is a character, and characters derived from pawn, and pawns are derived from actors, and so on. So we'll have to need something called a pawn sensing component. Okay, so what this thing does is when I click on this, it gives you all the different attributes of the AI that you're going to be working with. So you have a hearing threshold, you're gonna have this LOS hearing threshold, and the sight radius, and all of this good stuff which can quickly get you started with generating your own artificial intelligence behavior for your NPC character. Okay, so when I hit compile and with the pawn sensing component, you can see that the whole thing comes to life. And these are all the different attributes of the pawn sensing component. So you have certain things that are, so let's say it's hard to actually determine which is which. So I'm going to try and play with something. So let's say the sight radius, if I bring it down, so watch something move, okay? And you can see this green one that's moving down. So let's say I move the sight radius to something like, I don't know, this is 5,000. So I'm going to bring it down to 1,300, okay? And that is the sight radius. And if I say only see pawns, and I can get rid of that, no ear noises, enable sensing updates. And then the other thing is the peripheral vision angle, which is this green thing, which is quite unrealistic right now because it's quite wide. So I'm going to bring it down to 35, and you can see that this is what it is. And also this is pretty long, which is fine. Of course, when the sight radius is even lower, you can see that this keeps on going down. But I think 1,300 is a decent size for anyone to have a peripheral vision. And I think this is also a peripheral vision. This is also an acceptable angle for any human being. And knowing that this is not a a superhuman character, or someone not even a human character. So we're gonna take the normal human behavior of the peripheral vision angle of a normal human being, which is around 35 to 45 degrees. That's okay, right? And I believe even that's big, but that's okay. So I'm gonna hit compile, and let's look at something else. So you also have the hearing threshold. Okay, so now that we have all of this set up, let's also look at some of the events here. So you have all of these different events. So you have on see pawn. So when this guy sees a pawn, what should happen? When on see noise, on hear noise, when he hears something, what should he do? And then the normal, the normal behavior functions, or the normal bookkeeping functions, like on activated and on deactivated. The only event that we are going to be working on in this video is going to be on see pawn. So the moment you step in front of this cone, the character steps in front of this cone, then he will sense it and he'll do something about it. So for now, we'll simply make him print something. All right. And so this says this is a pawn object reference. Which pawn are we referring to? Are we referring to just about any pawn, or do we want him to be specific? Like, should he only see you and sense you and then do something about it? So let's see. Let's say we want this guy to chase us. So the reference here is going to be us. And so we'll first cast this to player. Okay. And once this has been casted to player, let's first try and make him print something. So I'll say print string. I'll just say player spotted. Okay. And I'll just hit compile. Come back here, and this guy is out here and the peripheral vision is looking in front. So I'll just hit play. Okay, and I'll go over to the back. I'll sprint instead, and he can't see me because I'm behind him. But the peripheral vision, if the cone is going, it's protruding from the front of his head. So if I think go here, maybe there he says player spotted, and then I step out of the cone, then again he says player. Okay, and he says that the player has gone. He can't see me anymore because of the peripheral vision, which is limited to 35 degrees only.